Welcome to this explainer. Today we are decoding the PL-300 Power BI exam secrets. We're going to take those super complex exam questions and turn them into a logical detective story to help you truly master these concepts. 401. Yeah, that is the massive number of questions waiting for you in the premium exam test bank. And look, if you're gearing up for this certification, brute force memorization, it just isn't going to cut it. You literally can't just flashcard your way through over 400 technical scenarios. You need a serious strategy. You really have to become an architectural detective so you can zero right in on those clues hidden inside each prompt. So picture this. The clock is ticking down. How do you navigate complex Power BI data models under all that pressure? How do you decode those dense, paragraph-long technical requirements and confidently pick the right answer without second-guessing yourself? Well, the secret is to stop reading them as boring IT requirements and start treating them like a giant puzzle. Every constraint they throw at you is actually a breadcrumb leading directly to the correct architecture.
Let's set the scene with a classic, high-stakes data model mystery. Imagine a setup with 4 interconnected tables: sales, sales aggregate, date, and customer. At a quick glance, sure, it's a standard star schema. But the exam doesn't just want to know how they connect, it wants you to define the actual physical nature of how these tables are going to store and retrieve data.
Okay, time to put on the detective hat. Bam, look at the constraints. Sales needs to refresh in near real time, but sales aggregate only once a week. Customer updates daily, and date just once every 3 years. But here's the real kicker, the absolute main thing you have to solve for. You've got to ensure that data freshness while simultaneously minimizing the visual load times. Near real-time and minimized load times are practically pulling us in 2 completely opposite directions. To crack this, let's quickly review our toolkit, starting with import mode. Think of import mode as your blazing fast local cache. When you set a table to import, Power BI basically inhales that data and holds it right there in memory. Queries? Answered instantly. It gives you the absolute best performance for minimizing load times, but, and it's a big but, you totally sacrifice real-time freshness because that data is only as fresh as your last scheduled refresh. Right, next up is direct query. Now this is your live wire. It completely bypasses the cache to give you up-to-the-second data. These tables aren't cached at all. Any DAX query you throw at it gets translated on the fly and sent straight to the underlying source. So you get that guaranteed near real-time freshness. The trade-off, though, performance. Since it's constantly doing round trips to the source, it can really drag out those visual load times. And finally, we have dual mode. This is our Goldilocks solution. It's a hybrid approach that acts as either cached or live, entirely depending on the query context. Think of it as a bridge. It caches the data for super fast retrieval, just like import, but it lets Power BI decide the smartest way to query it. Can it use the cache? It uses it. Does it need to join to a live direct query table? It acts as a pass-through so nothing breaks. So when you're sitting in the exam and you're faced with a totally blank canvas, just a bunch of empty drop-downs for each table, don't panic. You just need to rely on logical deduction. We've got our clues, we've got our tools, let's map them out. Let's break this down step by step. Step 1, the prompt strictly says the sales table needs near real-time data. Boom, that means it absolutely has to be direct query. There is literally no other way to get real-time. Step 2, sales aggregate only needs a weekly refresh, and we want to minimize load times. Perfect candidate for import mode. Step 3, well, now we have a conflict. The dimension tables, customer and date, are linked to both the direct query sales table and the import sales aggregate table. To keep things running smoothly for both sides without creating a massive bottleneck, those shared dimensions absolutely have to be set to dual. And there it is. The puzzle is totally solved. Sales is direct query, sales aggregate is import, and customer and date are dual. By making those dimensions dual, you're reducing limited relationships, keeping data fresh exactly where it needs to be, and optimizing load times everywhere else. You just nailed every single conflicting constraint they threw at you. All right, first mystery solved. Let's pivot and see how this kind of detective work applies to the broader Microsoft ecosystem. Scenario 2. Imagine you've got a project management app fully hosted in Microsoft Teams, and it was built using Power Apps. Your mission is to connect a Power BI report to it. You're given these 4 connector options. Now, the super obvious trap here is Microsoft Teams Personal Analytics, right? Because the prompt explicitly said Teams. But the real trick to dominating the PL-300 is understanding the native architecture of the Power Platform, not just matching keywords. You got to ask yourself, where does Power Apps actually store its data? And here is the reality check. Microsoft Dataverse is the underlying data engine for your Power Apps project. Even though the app lives and breathes inside the team's interface, the actual structural backbone, the tables, columns, rows, that is all Dataverse. So when you're in Power BI Desktop looking for a data source, the correct connector to grab that project data is, without a doubt, Dataverse. Okay, for our final scenario, let's talk about workflow efficiency. Imagine this. You've already published a Power BI report for the sales team that imports data from an Excel file sitting in a SharePoint folder. And crucially, this existing data model is packed with custom DAX measures. Now, your boss tells you to create a brand new report from this exact same data. Here's how you save time and grab the right answer. Contrast your options. Path A, you connect to the raw SharePoint folder all over again. Actually, scratch that. Doing that means starting completely from scratch. You'd have to re-import files and manually rebuild every single custom DAX measure. Nobody has time for that. Path B, you connect directly to the already published Power BI dataset. That gives you instant access to the pre-built model and all those sweet custom measures with literally zero rework. The biggest, brightest neon sign in the prompt is this exact phrase: the solution must minimize development effort. The exam creators sprinkle sentences like this in there specifically to see if you know how to work smart in the Power BI service. The second you see that phrase, you can instantly cross out any choice that creates redundant work. So connecting to the Power BI dataset is the absolute only logical move. Because there's already a published report. A dataset is just sitting right there in the cloud waiting for you. Tapping into it lets you reuse those existing measures effortlessly. You literally hit the nail on the head for minimizing development effort. All right, let's bring it all together. If you apply this whole scenario decoder strategy to your prep, you are going to absolutely crush this exam. Just remember the masterclass rules. 1, always isolate your core constraints first, like near real time versus minimize load times. 2, match your storage modes to those exact needs and use dual mode as your bridge between direct query and import. And 3, for workflow questions, always pick the route that minimizes redundant development. So as you dive back into those 401 practice questions, I want you to think about this. The PL-300 isn't testing if you can memorize a dictionary. It's testing if you can think like an actual architect. Are you just going to memorize definitions, or are you ready to decode the underlying logic of the data model? Approach every single question like a puzzle, trust your understanding of the constraints, and you are going to do amazing. Thanks for hanging out with me in this explainer, and happy studying.